Let me start this video with I appreciate each and every one of you who has subscribed and tuned into my videos. If you haven't yet and you enjoy the video, let me know by liking and subscribing. But today we're going to talk about Tower of God episode 3. So of course with the last episode we had a lot more questions that formed as to what is going on. And this episode gave us even more questions. Most of the answers we've gotten so far are like half answers. It gives us enough information to answer a little bit of our question, but not enough to make us stop wondering about it. I feel like episode 3 overall was extremely important. We get a bit of backstory on Khun. We also get to see character development with him. We get more solid comedy moments of Best Boy Rock, and we get a new test as well as some mysterious character introductions. Although Khun's backstory is still a bit mysterious, we are given a little look into it. Apparently his family was in some kind of competition to be selected as royalty with the choosing of a princess. Khun's sister was a runner-up for this and lost. Upon losing, their family was deemed failures and exiled. With the information given, we are told that Khun was betrayed and an important lesson was established within him by his mother. You can only trust yourself. We haven't had too much insight into him expressing that lesson up to this point yet, but the episode does elaborate on it further down the line. We also get Bam's realization of the sky, with Rock holding down the comedy on how silly it is for someone to not know what the sky is. But then again, Bam has no memory of his time before being stuck underground, and then he stayed there with Rachel until they went to the tower, so it's no real surprise, but something that wasn't really thought about before mentioned. Here we learn that the sky we currently see in the show isn't the real sky though, and they're not even sure if a real sky exists. So we're left to question what kind of world are they in. The current sky is just an imitation created using Shinsu, which was modeled after the legend of the sky. This currently points back to Shinsu and what the limitation of this power is. They're able to create an imitation sky with it, and it feeds us back to the words spoken by Liro, that it can basically make someone immortal. After this talk about the sky, we do get asked a solid question. Why did Rachel leave Bam for the tower? Was it just not that important to her? Was she grooming or cultivating Bam to enter the tower and help her? So here we meet Khun's distrust versus Bam's blind loyalty. But it's understandable, she saved his life. She was the first human being he had seen post losing his memory, and he has an attachment to her for that. The next test begins, and we are left in the dark with the main cast until a strange beanbag chair creature approaches them, offering them a hint as to what's going on with the test. This hint being that every person that enters the test and screams, they scream after 5 minutes have passed. Here again, we are met by Khun's distrust versus Bam's blind trust. So we learn that this expands outside just the talk about Rachel. This is just a major contrast in character between Bam and Khun. The main cast enters the test and are confronted with multiple doors, in which they have to open the correct door with little to no clues. The first thing to point out in this test is the clock, a clock in which is listed number 1 to 10. What an unorthodox clock, but it's very important to notice. Khun begins to think, trying to figure out which door is correct based off of any available clues, while Rock goes literally mad, climbing over the walls like a madman while screaming, Bam chasing him to calm him down the entire time. A hilarious segment. Khun starts to think about what the beanbag chair creature said before he snaps back to a memory, telling him not to trust others. So he begins to doubt the creature. But with those flashbacks, we learn more about Khun's betrayal. His sister was supposed to win favor in becoming a new princess of Jihad, but he fell for someone who used him in order to win. Once she won, she left him to be exiled, and due to it being his fault, he was kicked out of his family after they were exiled. 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Rock kicks open a door, and with a second to spare, they've passed, based on Rock's instinct alone. The win condition for this test was to open any door within 5 minutes. A test not of luck like Bam suggested, but being able to go with your gut feeling above all else. If there aren't enough clues or knowledge given to proceed forward, you must proceed based on instinct or else be stuck in the moment or move backwards. As many differences as we see between Bam and Khun, Khun was once in Bam's position. Khun was once Bam, and so he is asked, Doesn't he want to protect those eyes without doubt? That is a scary thought, though. What if Bam is like Khun? What if Bam is one bad day away from losing those eyes without doubt? This is the moment where we see that a lot of people seem to have their eyes not only on Bam but Khun as well. We see that Beanbag Man was instructed to give the hint to Bam's team, as a test to see if the hint would hinder or help them based off of Khun's trust issues. This is where episode 3 gets hyped though, where everything takes a turn. We see 3 new contestants who have apparently murdered everyone within their test, so they're moving forward, and one of them looks really familiar. Lero Ro makes an appearance after that and offers up a bonus test that is essentially King of the Hill. A test that is completely voluntary and has no negative consequences to the contestants, but if they win, they will be considered to have passed all tests. Tower of God episode 3 gives us the start to the crown game. The first round begins and 2 teams enter the arena. Anak takes the stage and decides to handle things on her own versus the other team, calling them weak. Which she quickly shows to be true as she fucking wipes the floor with them in under a minute. Jesus Christ. With the end of Anak, she literally blows away the competition and Rachel is revealed to be one of the competitors. Tower of God episode 3 ends, and I still have so many questions. But let's discuss what we do know. This episode was fucking amazing, and I'm tired of waiting a week. I will remain strong, but it's killing me inside slowly. Episode 3, we get to learn some more about Khun without it completely taking the mystery away from him. Based on what we are given, it seems like he was in a similar position to Bam, which is why he questions Rachel. What does this mean? Does Khun expect something similar to happen in Bam's situation? Of course, another flawless episode for Rock. We all know he's the best character in the show, and if you disagree, you're wrong. End of discussion. The final question for this episode is, why is Rachel there? Why is she technically behind Bam in the test? She entered the tower before him, so you would assume that she would be ahead in the test. But she's just finished the second test and is now participating in the current bonus test. It looks like now we will be able to see the full extent of some of these character skills as they battle it out for the crown, and I am so ready to see what everyone can do. But more than that, I am ready to see what exactly is happening with Rachel. Just to let you know, please do not answer my questions in the comments. I am trying to go through this blind with no spoilers. The questions being asked are rhetorical for those who have read the webtoon and an honest question for those who are watching along with me. For those who are watching along with me, please feel free to share your ideas and theories as to what's going on in the comments. But with that is the end of episode 3. Some of our questions overall were answered, but we were just given more questions to replace those as usual. It's a 1 step forward, 2 steps back scenario. I have to say though, that it works here, and I am here for it. Episode 3 hyped me up, and I am more ready than ever for the next episode.